from the weak, the vulnerable. To
bye, Mom.
Just to be retired.
I'm assuming.
Don't shoot! You're beautiful, and I get the bunch of jealous.
Honesty. Whoever doesn't want to die to see.
Happening. Anybody moves, you're fired. No fucking nuts! It's one of these pricks had a good day to drag innocent people into this.
With this prick right here.
Take right!
None of my fucking business. I'm just a problem.
Goddamn. I'd respect you more if you look people in their eyes. You're making a lot of money here. I know you're the middleman.
Come on, guys.
Make it stop. Told our lives. Dedicated her whole life to help. She took $2 million from me. She was the only person. Who and where is the Anzalone?
All stations, targets in the building.
Move, boys! Come on, move on!
Wiley?
Yeah, you good? Fucking mine! All stations!
And you know that.
Yeah, I know it.
Whatever, it's computer data, Mom. Doesn't. Are at the fucking door right now. Building full of PR people that are gonna choose the right.
The entire nation, and if it comes.
I know.
Nah, fuck the truth, man. Jesus! That's fucking. Bye, Mom.
Hang up the phone. Need your attention, please. The vulnerable again.
John?
I'm a beekeeper. Out hornets.
Still multi-shit. You fucking get him! You fucking get him! Well, come out, fucking we can talk about this. Or something. Oh, fuck! What, crypto? NFT, man?
Hey guys, today we're diving into the buzzing world of The Beekeeper, a movie where a peaceful beekeeper decides to put his very specific skills to use against a global conspiracy. We kick off our story with Adam Clay, a man who looks like he's auditioning for a very intense nature documentary, living a quiet life tending to his bees in the picturesque countryside. He's got a lovely, elderly neighbor named Eloise Parker, who treats him like her own son, even though he's clearly a walking, talking enigma. Their tranquil existence is shattered when Eloise, bless her heart, falls victim to a sophisticated phishing scam. She loses absolutely everything, her life savings, charity funds, the whole 9 yards. The sheer devastation of it all is too much, and Eloise, in a heartbreaking moment, takes her own life. Adam Clay discovers her. Now, most people would call the police, maybe get a really good lawyer. Not our Adam, this isn't just about money. It's about a violation of the natural order, and Clay, as we soon learn, is not just any beekeeper. Before you head off, if you're enjoying the kind of content I make, please consider liking and subscribing. No pressure, but it truly helps me. Keep the action coming, the piece is definitely over. Clay, with a steely resolve that could probably melt steel, begins his own investigation. Gone are the bees and the gentle hum of nature. Now it's the click-clack of a keyboard and the glow of a screen. Turns out, this quiet guy is a digital bloodhound, tracing the phishing scam to its murky origins with an almost terrifying efficiency. He's not just looking for who sent the email. He's digging into the entire operation, peeling back layers of digital deception like they're just, well, layers of a honeycomb. His face is a mask of cold fury, and you can practically hear the ominous doom music starting to swell. He's not just seeking justice, he's about to redefine it. It's like finding out your sweet grandma's favorite cookie recipe was actually a secret code to a super soldier program. Who knew Beekeepers had such an advanced IT department? He quickly narrows down the location of the scam headquarters, a grimy, unassuming call center in the heart of Boston. This isn't going to be a polite chat about customer satisfaction, folks. He gathers his tools, not gardening shears, but much more impactful items. The silence he moves with, the way his eyes dart around, it's all telling you one thing: this man is not to be messed with. And honestly, for those who prey on the vulnerable, he's probably the last person they ever want to see coming. It's like when you try to swat a single bee and suddenly the whole hive shows up. Except this bee is armed, and just like that, Clay arrives at the call center, which, let's be honest, looks less like a legitimate business and more like a fever dream of cubicles and bad decisions. He makes his entrance, which involves less knocking politely and more making a new entrance through the existing wall. Inside, he's met by a swarm of armed guards, who quickly realize that bringing a gun to a beekeeper fight is a truly terrible idea. The crack of a punch, the snap of bone, the thud of bodies hitting the floor. Clay moves with a silent, deadly precision. He's a whirlwind of calculated violence, turning every guard's aggression against them. You almost feel bad for these guys, almost. The choreography here is just chef's kiss. Every move is economical, brutal, and effective. He's not showing off, he's just doing his job. He then plants explosives, because apparently when a beekeeper decides a hive is rotten, he doesn't just fumigate. He incinerates. The building erupts in a fiery spectacle, a clear, unmistakable message delivered with the subtle grace of a sledgehammer. The screams of the scam artists are quickly drowned out by the roar of the flames, and Clay, unfazed, simply walks away as if he just took out the trash. It's a moment of pure, unadulterated catharsis, especially if you've ever gotten one of those your warranty is expiring calls. Consider this payback, delivered with interest and a side of spontaneous combustion, while Clay is busy making sure Boston's arson department has a long night. The FBI steps onto the scene of his fiery masterpiece. Enter Agent Verona Parker, who In a twist of dramatic irony that only Hollywood can deliver, is none other than Eloise's distraught daughter. The sight of the charred remains of the call center, still smoking like a bad barbecue, hits her hard. The initial reports mention a lone perpetrator, a phantom figure moving with impossible skill and leaving a trail of destruction that screams professional. Verona, a sharp cookie, quickly connects the dots. This isn't just a random act of vigilante justice. This is a highly targeted, highly personal vendetta. The realization dawns on her with the cold snap of a winter morning. This is about her mother. The very place that ruined Eloise's life is now ruined itself. But the who and why remain elusive. She's caught between her professional duty to catch the perpetrator and the simmering, personal desire for understanding, maybe even approval, of this ruthless retribution. The metallic scent of smoke hangs heavy in the air, a constant reminder of the chaos unleashed. The FBI brass are baffled, muttering about unprecedented and highly trained operatives. Verona, however, just feels the pain of her mother's loss, amplified by this brutal, mysterious act. It's a tough day at the office when your biggest case is also a giant, smoking monument to your personal tragedy. As the FBI grapples with the sheer audacity of Clay's actions, director Wallace Westwild, a man who looks like he owns several dark suits and even darker secrets, steps in to shed some light, or more accurately, to cast some very intriguing shadows. In a dimly lit office that screams classified information, Westwild begins to explain the Beekeeper program. He describes them as an elite, covert organization, essentially the immune system of the nation, designed to protect the hive, society itself, from threats that conventional law enforcement can't handle. They operate outside the lines, enforcing a brutal, unwritten code. The air is thick with the weight of his words, the quiet hum of the air conditioning the only sound besides his low, grave voice. He hints at Clay's past, explaining that once a beekeeper goes rogue, they are considered a threat to the entire system. It's like finding out that the guy who fixed your plumbing was actually a Black Ops assassin for a secret society. The Beekeeper protocol is invoked, a chilling term that means they're not just looking for a criminal, they're hunting down one of their own. Verona's eyes widen as she pieces together the puzzle. This isn't some random lunatic. This is a highly trained operative on a personal crusade, using skills forged in the shadows. The irony, of course, is that Westwild knows far more about the threat than he lets on, acting as if this is news to him, when in reality, he's probably thinking, oh, crud, Clay's really mad this time. The stage is now set for a game of cat and mouse, with the mouse being a very dangerous bee. Clay isn't one to waste time on pleasantries or lingering in the past. His next target is United Data Group, a gleaming, corporate fortress that looks like it was designed by a minimalist architect with a penchant for evil. This isn't a grimy call center. This is where the real money laundering magic happens. Our Beekeeper makes his entrance, not through the front door like some common plebeian, but by rappelling down the side of the skyscraper in a move that would make Spider-Man nod in approval. Inside, the security is tighter, more sophisticated, but Clay treats it like a minor inconvenience, like a pesky fly in his honey. The whoosh of a silenced weapon, the soft thud of a body, the barely audible gasp of a surprised guard. These are the sounds of Clay at work. He moves through the pristine corridors like a ghost, a lethal whisper in the corporate silence. He's not just breaking in, he's performing an audit, a very violent, unscheduled audit. He eventually reaches the CEO, a sniveling, entitled type who probably thinks corporate ethics is a brand of expensive whiskey. The CEO, predictably, has no idea what's hitting him, or more accurately, who is hitting him. Clay is relentless, extracting information with the delicate touch of a seasoned interrogator, which is to say, not delicate at all. The CEO squeals, the information flows, and Clay discovers the real puppet master pulling the strings, Derek Danforth. The game just got a whole lot bigger, and the stakes? Well, they're practically touching the moon. It's like he's playing a very deadly, high-tech game of follow the money, and he's not stopping until he finds the final boss. After his rather persuasive chat with the United Data Group CEO, Clay gets his hands on the real prize, the secrets of the Lazarus system. This isn't just some dodgy spreadsheet, it's a sprawling, intricately designed global network of scams, protected by layers of digital fortifications that would make a cybersecurity expert weep. Clay, however, just sees a challenge. He pores over the data, his eyes scanning lines of code and network diagrams that would look like hieroglyphics to most of us. The screen glows with the nefarious genius of this operation, highlighting how easily it manipulates vulnerable people, siphoning off their life savings with chilling efficiency. The scale of it is staggering, a truly global web of deceit. Far beyond a simple call center, it's not just about some tech brothers making a quick buck. This is industrial-level exploitation. He discovers that Lazarus isn't just about stealing money. It's about controlling information, manipulating markets, and basically playing God with people's financial lives. He also uncovers the direct link to Derek Danforth, a name that, in this universe, is quickly becoming synonymous with punchable. Face, the hum of the server racks fills the room, a metallic, almost predatory sound, as if the system itself is alive and sneering. Clay's resolve hardens further. This isn't just an avenging angel. He's becoming a digital exterminator, a fixer of corrupted code in the grand scheme of things. And he's got a new target, one with very expensive tastes and an even more expensive security detail. Lazarus, meet your doom. Meanwhile, in a lavish, ridiculously opulent penthouse office that probably costs more than some small country's GDP, Derek Danforth is having a very, very bad day. The news of Clay's systematic dismantling of his meticulously crafted scam empire reaches him, and let's just say his chill factor drops to zero. He's a sniveling, entitled little man-child, utterly reliant on his daddy's influence and his mommy's political power to get away with murder, both literal and metaphorical. His face contorts with a mixture of fear and outrage. How dare someone mess with his ill-gotten gains? The phone calls become more frantic, his voice a high-pitched whine as he barks orders into the receiver. He's calling in favors, activating his network of corrupt officials and ruthless mercenaries, because clearly, hiring a bunch of mall cops to guard a call center didn't quite work out. He contacts the CIA director, Wallace Westwild, who, surprise, surprise, is deeply entangled in Danforth's web of corruption. The clinking of ice in his expensive whiskey glass does little to calm his nerves, and the plush carpets probably wish they could swallow him whole. He talks about terminating the threat and eradicating the problem, completely unaware that he's poking a very large, very angry bear with a stick that's about to turn into a shish kebab. This is the moment where the villain, realizing he's out of his depth, calls for bigger, badder villain helpers. It's almost endearing, in a we're about to see him get absolutely wrecked kind of way. Danforth needs a hero, or rather an anti-hero, to stop the anti-hero, and he finds her in Prina, a woman who looks like she eats nails for breakfast. Danforth's desperation brings us to Prina, a former Special Forces operative who exudes an aura of "I will end you before you finish that" sentence. She's got a team of equally no-nonsense mercs, and they're not here to play nice. Prina is cunning, calculating, and she sets up a textbook ambush for Clay in a sprawling, deserted warehouse, because apparently all good cinematic showdowns must happen in warehouses. The silence of the warehouse is palpable, broken only by the creak of rusty metal and the focused breathing of Prina's team. They're good, really good, moving with practiced efficiency, setting tripwires, establishing kill zones. The tension builds with the slow, deliberate footsteps of Clay as he approaches, completely aware he's walking into a trap, but also completely uncaring. Then the fireworks begin, the crash of breaking glass, the sharp report of gunfire, the frantic cries of Prina's men as Clay, once again, proves that he's several steps ahead. He uses the environment like a weapon, turning shadows into allies and scattered crates into launch pads. Each punch lands with a bone-jarring impact. Each takedown is swift and merciless. Prina is left bewildered, seeing her highly trained team systematically dismantled by a man who moves like a phantom. He leaves her with a message, not a note, but a silent, chilling promise that he's coming for Danforth. The metallic tang of fear begins to creep into Prina's usually unflappable demeanor. It's like trying to catch a mosquito that's also a highly trained martial artist. Incredibly frustrating and probably going to end with you being stung. Or, you know, much worse. As Clay leaves a trail of bruised egos and broken bones, he continues to dig deeper, following the corrupted honey trail all the way to the top. The whispers and documents he's gathered start to paint an even uglier picture, revealing a conspiracy so vast it makes the previous layers look like child's play. He uncovers the ultimate bombshell. Derek Danforth isn't just some rich kid with a scam. He's the son of the sitting president of the United States. Dun. D-U-U-N. The revelation hits with the force of 1,000 angry bees, raising the stakes from a personal vendetta to a political earthquake. The news report he watches on a small TV in some grimy hideout flashes images of the president and her smarmy son, all smiles and carefully crafted public personas. While beneath it all, a dark, parasitic enterprise thrives. The soft hum of the television is almost mocking. Clay's jaw clenches, his eyes narrowing. This isn't just about revenge for Eloise anymore. It's about cleaning out a deeply infected part of the system, a rot that has spread to the very queen bee herself, or at least her offspring. It's a classic case of the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and sometimes the tree is planted in pure corruption. The realization that his mission is now against the highest office in the land doesn't deter him. If anything, it seems. To fuel his inferno, he's no longer just a vigilante. He's a one-man cleanup crew for the entire nation. And honestly, considering the current state of affairs, maybe a beekeeper is exactly what we need. With the beehive protocol buzzing at full alert, Clay finds himself up against his own kind. Another beekeeper, sent by Westwild and his shady associates, steps into the arena, tasked with the grim duty of neutralizing the rogue operative. This isn't just a fight, it's a clash of ideologies, a battle of brother against brother. If brothers were trained to snap necks with elegant efficiency, the air crackles with anticipation as the two figures circle each other, movements precise, eyes calculating. The first strike is a blur, a whisper of air disturbed, and then it's a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and throws. The impact of their blows is visceral, the crack of their knuckles against bone echoing in the silence. It's a dance of death, each combatant mirroring the other's brutal efficiency, a testament to their shared, rigorous training. You can almost see the internal struggle in Clay's eyes, fighting someone who understands his every move, anticipating his every strike. The other beekeeper argues about the greater good and the sanctity of the hive, while Clay, through his actions, argues for individual justice, for the innocent who fall victim to the rot. It's a philosophical debate delivered with high impact, bone-shattering force. This isn't about hate. It's about duty clashing with conviction, and in the end, Clay, as always, demonstrates why he's the main character in this particular revenge fantasy. He emerges, battered but unbowed, leaving his former comrade in arms with a stark reminder that some rules are meant to be broken when the system itself becomes corrupt. It's a harsh lesson, delivered with a swift, decisive final blow, while Clay is busy making sure the Beekeeper organization runs out of operatives. Verona Parker is having a full-blown existential crisis. She's finally pieced together the entire, ugly truth. Her mother wasn't just scammed, she was a victim of a corrupt network orchestrated by the president's own son and protected by high-level government officials. The weight of this revelation is crushing. Her FBI badge feels heavy, a symbol of a system that has utterly failed her mother and countless others. She clutches a photograph of Eloise, her face etched with a profound sadness and anger. The clash between her professional duty to uphold the law and apprehend Clay, and her deeply personal desire for the justice Clay is brutally delivering is tearing her apart. The muffled sounds of her colleagues talking in the background feel distant, as if she's in a different world entirely. She knows Clay is a criminal in the eyes of the law, but in her heart, he's becoming something else, an instrument of retribution. She tries to predict his next move, to understand his logic, not just to stop him, but to somehow align with him. The moral ambiguity of it all is a tangled mess, and she's caught right in the middle. It's like being a referee in a fight between your hero and your The stage is set for the grand finale, Clay's final assault on the president's heavily fortified private compound. This isn't just a house, it's a fortress bristling with cameras, motion sensors, and enough armed guards to form a small army. But to Clay, it's just another lock waiting to be picked, another hive needing a serious deep clean. Under the cover of a moonless night, he approaches, a silhouette of vengeance. The stealth is impeccable, the snip of a wire, the silent thud of a disabled camera, the quiet chokeout of an unsuspecting guard. He moves through the outer perimeter like smoke, each action precise, economical, deadly. There's no wasted movement, no hesitation, just a relentless forward momentum. The air is thick with anticipation, the only sounds being the soft crunch of gravel under his boots and the distant, almost imperceptible hum of the estate's extensive security systems. The interior guards, thinking they're safe behind layers of steel and bulletproof glass, are about to get a very rude awakening. Clay's face is a mask of pure concentration, his eyes scanning every shadow, anticipating every threat. He's not just a man anymore. He's an unstoppable force of nature, a one-man wrecking crew dedicated to a single, brutal purpose. It's like a very exclusive, very violent home invasion, where the intruder isn't interested in your valuables, just your soul. He breaches the inner sanctum, closer now than ever to his ultimate targets. The silence inside is almost deafening, a prelude to the storm that's about to break. It's time for the final, bloody harvest. Deep within the president's fortress, Clay faces his final significant obstacle, Prina, back for another round, and looking even more determined than before. This isn't a quick skirmish. This is a brutal, no-holds-barred slugfest, a masterclass in close-quarters combat. The room becomes their arena, echoing with the crack of impact, the grunt of exertion, the metallic clang of whatever they manage to throw at each other. Prina fights with a feral intensity, every move designed to maim, to stop Clay dead in his tracks. But Clay, fueled by the memory of Eloise, is relentless. He absorbs her blows, counters with devastating precision, turning her aggression against her. The air is thick with the exertion of their struggle, the smell of sweat and effort. They throw each other through furniture, crash through walls, their bodies becoming weapons in a desperate dance of death. It's a testament to both their training and their sheer will. Prina, for all her skill, is ultimately just a shield for a corrupt system, and Clay is the unstoppable force coming to dismantle it. The fight ends with Clay, battered but triumphant, delivering a final, decisive blow that puts Prina out of commission. He doesn't kill her, but he makes it clear that her role in this twisted drama is over. He steps over her defeated form, his eyes fixed on the path ahead, towards Danforth. The only sound left is his heavy breathing and the settling dust. The final guard has fallen, and now, there's nothing standing between the Beekeeper and his targets. And here we are, folks, the moment of truth. Clay finally stands face to face with Derek Danforth, a quivering mess of entitlement, and Wallace Westwild, looking more like a terrified rat than a powerful director. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a very dull knife, or in Clay's case, probably just rip it with his bare hands. Then in walks the president herself, Danforth's mother, radiating a false sense of authority. She attempts to reason with Clay, to use her power and position to halt his righteous rampage. But Clay isn't swayed by political speeches or promises of due process. He's past that. He's operating on a higher, more primal law. She even makes a shocking, cold confession, admitting she knew about her son's scams, accepting the dirty money to fund her political ambitions. It's a moment of chilling honesty, or maybe just self-preservation, revealing the rot at the absolute pinnacle of power. The air is heavy with the weight of moral compromise and impending doom. Just as Clay is about to deliver his final, irreversible judgment, Verona Parker bursts onto the scene, her gun drawn, torn between her duty and her mother's memory. The standoff is electrifying. Clay, however, is resolute. He delivers his judgment, swift and brutal, to both Danforth and Westwild, making sure their reign of corruption ends permanently. The sounds are sharp, conclusive. Verona watches her face a mixture of shock, horror, and perhaps a strange sense of grim satisfaction. It's a moment that defines the entire movie, a stark reminder that sometimes the law isn't enough to deliver true justice, and a beekeeper must step in too. Cull the infected, the system might be broken, but Clay? He's definitely not. With his brutal work concluded and the corrupt figures brought to a definitive end, Clay doesn't stick around for the congratulatory hugs or the FBI paperwork. He's a man of action, not exposition, as the compound erupts in chaos, sirens wailing in the distance, and authorities scrambling to understand the sheer magnitude of what just happened. Clay simply disappears. He melts into the shadows of the surrounding forest, moving with the same silent efficiency he displayed throughout his entire mission. The rustling of leaves, the crunch of pine needles, these are the only sounds accompanying his exit. He's a phantom, a whisper of vengeance, leaving behind a trail of destruction and a political firestorm that will undoubtedly dominate headlines for weeks, months, maybe even years. Verona watches him go, her face a complicated mix of emotions. She could stop him, perhaps, but something in her, a deeper, more primal understanding of justice, allows him to vanish. He's not running, he's completing his cycle. He's done his job, pruned the diseased branches of the hive, and now he's returning to the shadows from whence he came, perhaps to rest, perhaps to wait for the next time the system fails. It's a classic anti-hero exit, leaving us to wonder where he'll pop up next. Maybe he'll fix your broken internet, or perhaps take down a corrupt HOA. Who knows? The Beekeeper, as always, keeps his own counsel and moves with the wind, and so, as the dust settles and the world tries to grapple with the aftermath of one man's relentless pursuit of justice, we're left to ponder the ripple effects. The lives shattered by the Lazarus system may never fully recover, but the architects of their misery have faced a reckoning. Clay's actions, brutal as they were, forced a mirror onto a corrupt system, exposing its festering wounds for all to see. It's a testament to the idea that sometimes, when the established order fails, an unconventional force must step in to restore balance. The Beekeepers, a mysterious, almost mythical entity, remind us that there are those who operate outside the lines, maintaining a delicate, unseen equilibrium. We see Clay, perhaps back with his bees, the hum of the hive a stark contrast to the explosions and gunfire he recently orchestrated. His journey reminds us that true justice often comes at a cost, demanding courage, conviction, and sometimes a willingness to get your hands dirty. It challenges us to reflect on what we truly value, order at any cost, or a righteous fury that cleanses the rot, no matter how high up it goes. The Beekeeper isn't just a story about revenge. It's a powerful statement about accountability, and the idea that even the smallest, quietest among us can possess an indomitable will to set things right. The swarm might be gone for now, but the lessons linger, buzzing in our minds like a distant echo. The world is a hive, and sometimes it needs a good beekeeper.